Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening. You're watching the National News broadcast live on Sri Lanka Rupavahini. I'm Chaga Gamage.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharif Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Agreement signed to increase plantation workers' daily wage. Second runner-up title of Mrs. World pageant to Sri Lanka. Rehearsals of the 78th National Independence Day celebrations until the 2nd of February. A special traffic plan around Independence Square, Colombo. A former senior manager of Lanka Satosa and 2 others taken into custody on corruption charges. Managing Director of IMF Kristalina Georgieva to visit the island next month. Wax Museum at the Colombo Arcade premises. President Trump warns countries supplying crude oil to Cuba.
Well, now we move on to those and other stories in detail. Agreement signed to increase plantation workers' daily wage for state worker community to 1,750 rupees was signed today.
The regional plantation companies and the government signed the agreement at the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure. The Secretary to the Ministry, Prabhat Chandra Kirti, along with officials from the Wages Board were among those present at the occasion. Parallel to the salary increments proposed in the present, and I'd say that it's for the public and private sectors. In the 2025 budget, President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake had proposed increasing the estate workers' daily wage to 1,700 rupees. Following this, Minister Samantha Vidyaratna, Deputy Minister Sundaralingam Pradeep and several other stakeholders engaged in continuous discussions regarding the matter. As a result of these efforts, the wage hike for the estate worker community was successfully implemented. Accordingly, in presenting the budget for the year 2026, the President took steps to further increase the estate workers' wage to 1,750 rupees. Under this framework, the basic daily wage has been increased by 200 rupees, rising from 1,350 rupees to 1,550 rupees, while the government has decided to provide an additional 200 rupees as an attendance allowance. The government has allocated 5,000 million rupees from the 2026 budget for this purpose, and this salary increment is effective from the 1st of January this year. Sabina Yusuf, who represented Sri Lanka at the Mrs. World 2025 contest, became the second runner-up of this event.
The contest was held in Las Vegas in the USA this time. It has been organized for the 41st occasion, this time with the participation of 60 beauty queens. After several rounds included with numerous presentations, Sabina Yusuf was selected among the 20 best contestants. She also won the award of Miss Photogenic later in the final round. She became third in the contest. Chanitha Siddhakat of Thailand was crowned as Mrs. World in the history of Mrs. World contest. Sri Lanka has claimed several significant places. In the inaugural event in 19...
And that goes to Mrs. Sri Lanka!
Your heart, it seemed too much. You're beautiful.
In the inaugural event in 1984, Rosie Senanayake of Sri Lanka was crowned as the first Mrs. World. In 2020, Caroline Jury again won this prestige award for Sri Lanka. Ishadi Amanda of Sri Lanka became the first runner-up of this event last year. It is significant that both Rosie Senanayake and Ishadi Amanda were present there to encourage Sabina Yusuf.
Mrs. World.
You've earned your place in history, my darling. This is Sri Lanka.
Crown our new Mrs. World.
back next year for even, and of course, glamour.
The Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, is scheduled to undertake an official visit to Sri Lanka next month. The primary objectives of her visit are to review the progress of Sri Lanka's IMF-supported program and to further strengthen the mutual understanding between both parties. Established in 1944, the goal of ensuring global economic stability, the International Monetary Fund is headquartered in Washington, D.C. It currently comprises 191 member countries. Sri Lanka joined as the 50th member in 1950 and has received various forms of assistance from the fund ever since. The Managing Director serves as the Chief Executive of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, a Bulgarian economist who was first appointed to the position in 2019, was reappointed for a second 5-year term in 2024. A prominent economist, she assumed the top leadership role at the IMF after holding several high-ranking positions at the World Bank. While she is set to visit the island as part of a wider tour of several Asian nations, the specific date of her arrival has not yet been confirmed.
In the meantime, index for construction of the Sri Lanka Purchasing Manager, as reflected by the total activity index, increased to 67.1 in December 2025. A majority of firms reported a notable expansion in construction activities during the reference period, despite initial operational disturbances caused by adverse weather conditions. The new orders index remained expanded in December. Many firms reported an increase in available projects this month, driven by a rise in both government-funded infrastructure projects and new private sector developments. Meanwhile, the employment index remained at a neutral level, reflecting stable employment conditions during the month. The quantity of purchases index continued to expand, while the suppliers' delivery time index remained extended during the month. The outlook for construction activities in the next quarter remains positive. The optimism is supported by the scheduled commencement of several new projects and favorable weather forecast in 2026. Additionally, ongoing post-cyclone reconstruction efforts are expected to provide further momentum to construction activities.
The 78th National Independence Day celebrations are to be held at the Independence Square in Colombo. The first rehearsal in this respect was conducted today. Let's Build Sri Lanka will be the Independence Day theme of this year, which will be held under the leadership of President Anurakumara Dissanayake. Rehearsals of the 78th National Independence Day celebrations will be held until the 2nd of February. Traffic around the roads at the Independence Square, Colombo, has been restricted from 7:45 a.m. to 1:30 p.m.
A well-known model and former beauty queen, Stephanie Sirivadana, has been appointed to the Prison Observation Committee, highlighting her long-standing involvement in social service activities. The committee consists of 6 members and functions on voluntary basis, with appointments made according to procedures set by the Prisons Department.
Stephanie Sirivardhana, who won the Sri Lanka's Beauty Queen title in 2011, later represented the country at the Miss Universe pageant and went on to become Miss Asia in 2013. She pursued her higher education in Canada, earning a degree in journalism, communications and political science, shaping her interest in social issues and public advocacy. And she has completed a master's in business psychology as well. Beyond her public profile, Stephanie is well known for her work in social empowerment and welfare initiatives. She is the founder of the Infinite Grace Foundation, which focuses on inspiring and empowering youth and women. And at the same time, she has been working for the welfare of prison inmates for the last 12 years.
And it's very unhealthy because there are about 15 kids here and 2 little babies. All of them are under 5, so all of them would get their milk and formula made with this water. So it is very important to give them access to clean boiled water.
Stephanie is among the first members of the newly established Prison Observation Committee. The committee's main main responsibility is to observe challenges faced by detainees and raise concerns with relevant authorities and help ensure the welfare and well-being of prison inmates. Her appointment is seen as a continuation of her voluntary efforts to support vulnerable communities, particularly women and detainees, through advocacy, awareness and welfare-focused initiatives.
News, and joining us live today in the Rupavahini studios is Stephanie Sirivardhana. A very good evening to you, Stephanie.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank
Welcome. Welcome to the Rupavahini studios. It's lovely to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. And first and foremost, Stephanie, congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about it.
You have become the talk of the town. All right, so let's get to that shortly. But before that, let's talk about how you feel about this appointment.
I think, first of all, I'm so grateful, honored, and I feel the weight of it. We all do, the entire monitoring board, because through this we'll be able to suggest legislative reform, which can actually help the prison systems, you know, to solve issues that we have structurally, you know, so through legislative reform we can actually, instead of putting a plaster on things, we can actually solve issues sustainably, and that's what we're all really passionate about it, and I think it's a wonderful platform and a way to actually make sustainable change.
In a layman's point of view, Stephanie, why don't you take us through the actual role of this appointment?
So basically, we have to monitor all the prisons island-wide, and to make sure, first of all, that all the prisoners are treated in a humane way, that they have access to proper health care, that their living conditions are humane and good, and of course whatever we see and whatever we observe, we can put that up and make suggestions for legislative reform, so that that can actually come into the constitution as well, so that that way we can create sustainable structures going forward. And everybody who's on the board has worked for I think a minimum of a decade in the prisons, everyone there. And all on a voluntary basis, because they're passionate and they see the humanness of the prisoners.
Speaking of which, Stephanie, you said that everyone there has worked over a decade on this topic, and I mentioned towards the beginning that this has become the talk of the town as well about your appointment. So getting to that point, why do you think society still finds it surprising when somebody with your background is given a role of this caliber?
Well, honestly, I don't know, but I do understand. I've thought about it, and I think it's a fair question to ask, because from my side, I mean, I've been working in the prisons for 12 years now, in and out of the prisons, and we've been creating sustainable enterprises within the prisons, making sure their welfare is met, especially convicted ladies. It started with charity, and then we progressed into creating sustainable structures. So I think, because I never spoke about it, it's a fair question to ask, because when people see you in entertainment, when people see you as an artist, and they didn't know that there's a whole other facet to me and to people like me. So I guess there's a question that can be asked, and that's a fair question to ask. So I understand where it's coming from.
And speaking of which, we also mentioned that you have a Master of Psychology.
Yes, business psychology.
Definitely plays a massive role in, I think, helping with the mindset of the people who I think have nowhere to go, no one to talk to as well. And we have to also mention that this is on a voluntary basis, isn't it?
Yes, it's all on a voluntary basis. It's passion and it's purpose. So actually the reason why I sent myself back to study was because, one, I'm a corporate trainer, and I know that one of the things I love is emotional intelligence and understanding true transformation, because that's the work my foundation, Infinite Grace, does. So I'm also in the process of getting NLP and life coach certified as well, and we've been working with a neuroscientist, a psychotherapist, as well as a coach to put together a program called RISE, which is a formula for transformation, which we'll be piloting in the prisons as well, so that way we can also find a mechanism to vouch for the prisoner's transformation, because you see, as you can transform a prisoner, but society needs to accept them. So we are trying to find a way where we can say, yes, this person has paid their due, has paid for their punishment, but we can take a chance on them and actually help them reintegrate back into society. Because if not, they're just going to have no other choice but to go back to whatever crime they committed in order to survive, and they end up back in the prison. So it's a very circular system, a pattern that we're trying to break, all of us together.
It's about accepting them, isn't it?
Yes, it's about understanding the humanness. You know, there's so many reasons. Good people do bad things for many different reasons. It could be circumstantial, it could be trauma, there are so many reasons as to why people do things. But I like to believe that everyone's innately good, and it is our duty to give them a second chance, to help them transform, to give them love, and understand that people believe in them. Because I really believe when you tell someone, I love you and I believe you can be better, and you show it with actions, I think they will all want to change. And we have seen some beautiful stories like that of true transformation. So yeah, that's why we do things like Lalita Sirisara, so that society can see the prisoners not as convicted criminal, but human, with talents, with dreams of their own. And we're hoping to do another Lalita Sirisara hopefully this year, which is an outdoor concert, with prisoners and guards.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
All the best with that, Stephanie. But
Thank
let's
you.
also talk about your take on the current situation.
Right. In the prisons?
Yes.
Right. So right now our prisons are overcrowded. We are not even double capacity, we're like triple, quadruple above capacity. And because of that, you have someone who has committed a petty crime, let's say a lady wanting to feed her child, stealing few things for survival, who comes into prison, cannot pay their bail. So because there's so many people and they're not segregated in the prisons, what happens? They sleep beside someone who sells drugs or whatever, XYZ, and that person says, hey, tell your family to give a call to this number, so why don't you go and sell this, you can easily make the money to make your bail. What happens? This innocent person who came from a moment of weakness trying to for survival comes out of the prison with an elevated level of crime, which is now, I'm a dealer. So this is how it works in the prisons, and it's all because of overcrowding. Another issue that we really have, and we are working actively to solve, is a lot of drug addiction is taken more as a criminal offense rather than a health issue. So we are looking to see how we can actually do drug rehabilitation, so that way they go to rehabilitation centers. So drug dealers go to the prisons, but the actual addicts, it's treated as a health issue. So then that way we also reduce the number of people who are in prison. And so then again we find a way to break those cycles. So then we can have segregation if the prisons are not overrun. So there are multiple layers to it actually. It's not one thing, you know, but what the thing I have to say is that the prison guards, the ministry, I've been working with them for 12 years. It's like one family in there, and I think people don't understand that, because as much as we have prisoners in prison, the guards are also in prison. They don't have access to their phones. They are there from morning to night. If there's an emergency with their families, they don't know, because they are also in prison. And truly, I saw that at Lalita Sirisara when we did it a couple of years ago. It was the prisoners telling the guards, hey, you know what, you can sing, why don't you do it? And they would like put makeup and costumes on each other. So everyone's actively working towards it together.
Absolutely. Yes, Chaga, I'm sure you have something.
Yes, of course. Now, before we wrap up, we would like to ask you one more thing.
Sure.
Now, today, Ms. Sabina Yusuf secured the second runner-up position at Mrs. World
Yes, she did.
2025. And I mean, you've also been on that stage.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
I am so very proud of her. She is amazing, a great representative for Sri Lanka. And I know her heart is so beautiful. And her husband's as well. They're both so passionate for social work. I think she's a huge asset, and she's going to do wonders for Sri Lanka. So Sabina, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see the amazing things you're going to do for Sri Lanka.
So with that, Stephanie, thank you very much for joining us live in the studios.
Thank you for having me.
All the very best with everything you're intending to do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we continue with more local stories. There are certain creations that leave us wondering if they were truly crafted by human hands.
A collection of such masterpieces created by a Sri Lankan father and son duo was unveiled yesterday in Colombo.
The Colombo Wax Museum, established within the Colombo Arcade premises, was officially opened yesterday. The ceremony was held under the patronage of the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Rupavahini Singha. A large gathering of renowned artists, including Ravindra Randhaniya, Rohana Veerasinghe, Shriyanta Mendes and Mahendra Pereira, attended the event. The museum features wax creations of famous artists and prominent figures from various fields, all crafted to international standards. The creators behind these works are the Sri Lankan wax artist duo Atul Herap and Mahima Herap. A notable highlight is that this museum has been modelled after the world-famous Madame Tussauds.
Morning local news for tonight. Construction of the housing complex at Torrington Avenue of Colombo 7 officially commenced yesterday, led by Minister of Transport and Urban Development Bimal Ratnayaka. 115 beneficiary housing units are included in this project. The housing complex is being constructed with 11 stories in a land area of 91 acres. An estimated cost of 1,619 million rupees has been allocated for this project. 115 beneficiary housing units are to be handed over for low-income earning people of 189 Vatha at Torrington. Construction of this project was started in 2014 and had been stalled on 3 occasions. Construction of the project, which officially commenced yesterday, will be completed within 2 years. Deputy Minister Iranga Gunasekara and Mayor of Colombo, Raikali Balza, and a number of others were present on this occasion.
A former senior manager of Lanka Satosa and 2 other individuals have been arrested on corruption charges. They were taken into custody yesterday morning by officers of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. The trio is accused of causing a loss exceeding 17 million rupees to Lanka Satosa. The charges allege that they knowingly and intentionally violated cabinet approvals and existing institutional regulations to provide an undue advantage to a private businessman. Specifically, they are accused of selling 54,860 kilograms of garlic at a rate of 135 rupees per kilogram, resulting in a significant loss to the state. Those arrested included a senior supplies manager of Lanka Satosa, a private broker, and a businessman. In a separate development, another businessman was recently arrested by the Bribery Commission for aiding and abetting money laundering. Following his production before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court, he was remanded until February 10th. The businessman is accused of possessing 30 million rupees while knowing it was part of nearly 750 million rupees generated through direct or indirect illegal activities associated with former Minister Kehelia Nabukwella. The Colombo Magistrates Court today ordered the case against former Minister Rajitha Senaratne and 2 other defendants to be recalled on the 10th of July. They stand accused of causing a loss of over 20 million rupees to the government by awarding a sand mining project at the Kirinda Fisheries Harbour to a Korean company. The case against former Minister Johnston Fernando and several others accused of misappropriating state property was called today at the Wattala Magistrates Court. The suspects were not produced in prison. Instead, the proceedings were conducted via an online system. While considering a bail application filed by the defence, the magistrate noted that exceptional circumstances must be presented to grant bail. As no such grounds were established, the suspects were ordered to be further remanded until the 13th of next month. The Colombo High Court has scheduled a further recording of evidence for March 11th in the case filed against former Minister Vimal Veeramansa. He faces charges of illicitly acquiring assets and property valued at approximately 75 million rupees during his tenure as a minister.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The all-share price index closed at 23,812.31 after down by minus 88.58 points, which represents a minus 0.37% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,641.15, down by minus 14.51 points and minus 0.22%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 8,498 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted 9,192 billion rupees. Now, showers will occur at times in northern, north central and eastern provinces and in Matale and Norelia districts.
Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters are likely at some places in Mullaitivu, Trincomalee, Polonnaruwa and That's it on local stories. Stay tuned in for international news.
Prima Stella. අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
Now we move on to news from overseas. Economic tensions between Washington and Ottawa have hit a new flashpoint today.
President Trump has threatened a massive 50% tariff on Canadian aircraft while simultaneously expanding his trade war to target any nation supplying oil to Cuba. The president's move against Canada follows a certification dispute involving U.S. firm Gulfstream, with Mr. Trump accusing Ottawa of wrongfully refusing to clear American planes, while a social media post suggested the decertification of all Canadian aircraft, including those from industry giant Bombardier. The White House has since clarified that planes currently in operation are not at risk. The friction comes as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney strengthens ties with Beijing, a move that previously drew threats of a 100% tariff from the Oval Office. Transitioning to the Caribbean, the president has also signed an executive order targeting Cuba's energy lifeline. Following the recent seizure of President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces, which halted Venezuelan oil shipments, the U.S. is now pledging new levies against any country that continues to provide fuel to Havana.
Prima Stella. අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
Moving on to sports news, the first T20 international between Sri Lanka and England is now in progress at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium.
Winning the toss in the rain-delayed encounter, England opted to bowl first. Due to the delay, the match has been reduced to 17 overs per side. This is the first of a three-match T20 series between the two nations. Batting first, Sri Lanka won 97 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in 10.2 overs when the latest reports came in.
It's going to be key for this World Cup.
Winners' trophy of the ICC T20 World Cup tournament was brought to Kandy today.
It is notable that a large crowd gathered there to pose photographs with the trophy. The trophy of the ICC T20 World Cup cricket tournament, which will be held co-hosting jointly by India and Sri Lanka, was brought to the island on the 21st of this month. It was exhibited in Colombo until the 24th of this month, and the trophy was displayed in several places in Kandy today. Accordingly, it was exhibited on a boat in the Kandy lake this morning, and a large crowd had gathered at the lake premises to view it. Later, it was brought in front of the main entrance Vahalkada of the Temple of the Tooth, and official ceremony to accept the trophy was held there. Then it was taken to the Peradeniya University in a motorcade. Cricket fans had gathered either side of the road to welcome it. The trophy was also displayed at the Kandy City Centre, and many sport fans were present there to pose a snap with it. The ICC T20 World Cup cricket tournament will be held with the participation of 20 teams. The preliminary matches will be played under 4 groups as A, B, C, D winners of the finals on the 8th of March, which will be able to take this trophy to their country.
Well, that's all the news we have for tonight. I've been Shah Gamage along with Shir Fatahi. Make sure to join us at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.